Welcome to Speed Scene Live TV, the only show dedicated to the sportsman racer. Brought to you by Curry Rear Ends, Hedman Hustler Headers, M&H Tires, and TheFote.com. With your hosts, Diana Might, Bruce Barker, Scott Lucky Hudson, Alex Roggio, Bob Beck, Bryant Layton, with Donnie Couch and Dar Hawthorne.
Hey, and it's another Tuesday night. Boy, that was a mouthful, wasn't it, Bruce? This is Diana Might with Speed Scene Live. And yes, I am back. I know you all missed me last week. Well, I missed you too. But we've got Scott Lucky Hudson here to my left.
Yeah, baby.
We've got Bruce Barker back there. Well, he's handling the controls.
Hey.
He's got 2 hands and 1 foot, but he's still with us.
Little inside joke there.
We've got Bruce Barker here, and tonight we want to welcome Alex, the car girl.
Wait! You left one out. What about Bob Beck? Hot Rod Bob Beck.
I'm after Alex.
AB.
Oh, okay. I ate it.
Okay. Did I leave that out? Okay. AB, yeah. You know, like John Forrest names his daughters, ABC.
Yeah, wait, I didn't notice that he had done that. Oh, I'm so blank.
Let me go.
And now...
Forgive me. Bob Beck, our car guy. Yes, Bob. And now back to introducing Alex, the car girl. Alex, welcome to Speed Scene Live.
I'm so happy to be back.
I had to interrupt Alex because I didn't want Bob to get his feelings hurt.
I wasn't going to leave Bob out, Lucky.
Poor Bob.
Jeez. I had to go down the line. Of course. Oy vey.
Well, Alex, welcome to the show. It's great to have you on. And, we're happy to have you be part of the show.
I'm really, really excited. I'm excited to tell you about all of my new adventures.
Nice.
Well, we're going to talk about them tonight. But before we do, let's tell you a little bit of info. The ANRA will have their season opener April 19th to the 21st at Famoso. Also, Great Bend, Kansas will have their inaugural NHRA Sunflower National Open on April 27th through the 28th. In addition to all the NHRA classes and bracket classes, they have a Super Stock Gambler on Saturday and a Super Class Gambler on Saturday also. So visit the track online for more info at srcadragstrip.com. Speed Scene Live will be at Great Bend this June, racing and filming the Speed Scene Live Nationals. 3 big days of racing and a chance to get your car on TV.
Is that the second annual Speed Scene Live Nationals, Lucky?
It is, and we'll be doing interviews, filming the racing, and more.
More. Hey, Scotty Richardson's going to be at the Speed Scene Live Nationals doing a class. Scotty knows how to win races, and you know he knows, and he's going to teach you how to do it. If you want more info, visit Schooled by Scotty, spelled just like you'd expect, schooledbyscotty.com. Scotty, by the way, is with a Y at the end. He's going to be at the Caprock Motorplex in Penwell, Texas on May 10th through 12th as well, just so you're all primed for that.
All right, then NMCA West at Bakersfield, first weekend in April. We'll be talking with Charlie Harmon about it tonight, as well as upcoming programs at Pomona, his program at the Pomona track. Now come out and see us in the Curry Rear Ends booth, Hedman Headers booth at the Manufacturers Midway. We'll also be talking with Al Liebman about the Frantic Ford East Coast Funny Car tonight, and I hear Rocky Perrone will be calling in also.
Oh, that's going to be... So that's all coming up tonight, you're saying, Bob?
Tonight, yes,
An
under the lights.
action-packed night, Bruce. And we're going to have Bob, of course. He's full of gas.
Yes.
And we are not going to have the off-road report with Bryant Layton, but he will return next week.
Now, listen to me every Monday night on the Sam Oxer Jr. radio show.
Is that a command, Lucky?
Yes, please do it
Listen
immediately.
to
You
me.
will do it, and you will enjoy it.
Every yesterday. And last night I talked with Junior Fuel Dragster guys.
There's my new car.
Yeah.
Piece of candy. Piece of candy.
It's got a hand dryer on it.
Well, if you get a chance, go online and check out Drag Illustrated magazine. The current issue is the hottest women of drag racing. You can get a hard copy at your local newsstand, or you can go online to dragracingonline.com, click on the latest issue, and you will see in there on about page 70 Diana Might, which is right here exiting the race car. And Diana Might, one of the hottest women.
What are you showing my behind there for, Lucky?
Here it is right here. Alexia DeJoria is on the cover, and Diana Might is inside. And if you get a chance, check out this article. And a beautiful picture of Diana Might right there in front of the Currie race cars.
Yeah, now on the cover, it's Alexis DeJoria James.
Yes, congratulations. She married Jesse James.
Jesse, yeah.
Well, we'll see how that goes. And hey, we want to let all of you know that we're going to talk about an awesome car that was found. It's one of Mickey Thompson's old drag race cars, and a gentleman bought it from Mickey Thompson's daughter, and he's going to be fixing it up. So we'll get more of that back to you.
I'm going to show you how easy it is to mount a set of whole shot wheels with bead locks, how easy it is to change your tires at the track, and we're going to have some great race video from the NHRA March Meet, including some footage of the rock band Great White playing in the bands or in the pits. We've also got Super Gas racer Jeff Lopez and Doug Stokes from Irwindale coming on.
Dang, man.
So, a lot of cool stuff. Now, Alex, speaking of cool stuff, you have got a brand new motor in your race car, and you were recently trying it out a little bit.
Oh, yeah. I was recently at Mopars at the Strip in Las Vegas and got a chance to take the car on the track for the first time, and it was unbelievable. I think we have a video right here.
This is the first pass ever?
This is the first pass.
The new motor, right?
This is the new motor, 6.4-liter Hemi, supercharged, 12 pounds of boost. It made 700 foot-pounds of torque on the dyno.
Wow.
And just about 655 horsepower to the wheels, about 760 at the crank. And you can see it right here. You'll be able to tell.
Well, Lucky and I were talking about taking that motor and putting it like in a little dragster, something real lightweight.
Yeah, it would
turn you into an 8-second car girl.
Yeah, I have no doubt it would run that fast.
Now, the interesting thing about this story, though, is you actually drove the car back to Virginia. They put the motor in, and you drove the car back all the way home to California with a 10-second race car driving down I-40, I'm guessing?
Yep, we took I-40 the whole way. You know, you'd never know that it was a 10-second car. I mean, aside from the power, it drives so unbelievably smooth. It's calibrated perfectly. You'd never know, once you took it on the track.
How's the gas mileage?
It's not great, but it's better than you'd think. It made about 18 miles to the gallon.
That's pretty good.
A 10-second car with 18 miles per gallon.
Pretty doggone good.
Ridiculous.
That's
amazing.
really good.
Wow, that's better than some of the hogs I drive that are half that speed. I mean, really half that speed.
My hot rod gets 15 miles per gallon with 150 horsepower.
That's the beauty of modern cars, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
Now, in the name of the company that did the motor?
Arrington Performance, and they are in Martinsville, Virginia. If you want more information on them, please go to shophemi.com. They have everything you could ever ask for late model Hemi cars. And I can't thank them enough. Their support has been unbelievable at the race. I really want to give a big thanks to Matt from Arrington, who gave us a lot of help at the track. We had some trouble getting traction, and it was a process this weekend. We worked on getting good launches, and I think, Bruce, there was a video that we gave you. It's of me driving, and you can see. I want you to hear the power.
Okay, so you want we've got an in-car one.
I want the in-car one on the track.
Okay, let's take a look at that in-car one. I hope we've got the correct one here.
Crank up the volume and let's see how it sounds.
This may be something we might have just seen. Hey, that's me, man.
Uh-oh, Bruce.
Somebody didn't turn their phone off.
Oh, yeah, you hurt one foot.
I know.
Yeah.
I have to start all over. Am I a veteran of TV? I'm not sure.
Okay, this is it.
That was just a burnout.
This is a burnout.
Do the trans brake?
Foot brake. It's a two-step right now.
Okay, man. And by the way, that breakup in audio, we'll take care of that in just a little bit. That thing sounds so smooth. No, that's correct.
It sounds really awesome in person.
Now, one of the questions I've been burning to ask is, do you still have air conditioning?
We do. We've got air conditioning, sunroof, nav system, subwoofer we take out for the track.
Well,
you gotta take something.
You know what you do? You go get one of the old records of the Winter Nationals, and you play that out the speakers to the car next to you, so he thinks you're a top fuel car.
Right. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll use that.
Psych them out.
Look, I was going to pull out our record of the Winter Nationals, and it's tucked away somewhere. Darn!
It's there somewhere.
Another opportunity just lost.
There you go.
Well, listen, let's go take a commercial break, because when we come back, we're going to have Rocky Perone, we're going to have Al Liebman, we're going to talk about the return of the Frantic Ford Funny Car.
That's right, man. It's all coming up right here at Speed Scene Live.
Hi, this is Troy
And Darlene?
from the UMTR, and we watch
Speed Scene Live.
Tuesday night.
For over half a century, Curry rear-end components have been twisting out the torque and taking the punishment. And the new Curry lineup is stronger than ever. Some of the world's most capable, hardest-working vehicles depend on Curry gears, which is why you can too. Street cars, hot rods and resto rods, drag cars, rock-crawling four-wheel drive vehicles, whatever you're piloting, Curry expertise and rock-solid design means the parts will do their job, so you can do yours. Check out Curry's custom rear ends, featuring a full line of upgrades, components, and installation options. The Curry Crate rear ends lineup offers ultra-strong construction on third members and carrier assemblies, and other underside parts like correct link steering systems keep your four-wheeler pointed where you want it. Add in a wide variety of solid, purpose-built suspension and brake components, and you've got one tough, ready-to-go machine. Grab a hold of a Curry rear end. Talk to the experts at 714-367-2679 or view the complete line online at curryenterprises.com. Welcome back to Speed Scene Live TV with your hosts, Diana Mike, Bruce Barker, Scott Lucky Hudson, the Off-Road Report with Bryant Layton, and the Great American Auto Scene with Bob Beck.
Welcome back to the show, Speed Scene Live. I'm Lucky. I'm here with Diana Mite. I've got
Welcome.
Bruce Barker. I've got Hot Rod Bob Beck, and our new host, Alex, the car girl. We're welcoming her to the show tonight. She's going to be a fixture on the show, and we're very happy about it. And, well, we were up at the March meet, and we were doing a little bit of racing, but we had a little bit of weather problems.
This was Friday.
What's your name?
Brandon.
Brandon, are you a racer?
Yes, sir.
What are you racing?
B-Gas Nova.
Nice. Are you the Brandon transmission guy?
Yes, sir.
Nice. Wow.
Well, yeah.
Racing eventually.
Well, about a day and a half, right, Diana?
Well, yeah, but you know what? They extended it to a 4-day race, from a 3-day race to a 4-day race, which was great on their part. It did extend over to Monday, so some people had to go home. But you know what? That's racing.
Logo.
That's right. That's right.
And you know what? You can't control Mother Nature. It wasn't their fault. They did a great job.
And when the weather did clear up, we had good racing. The traction was good. The prep was good. Everything was great. We had great weather, low altitude, so really was a hooking race. And if you've never been to the March meet, this is a race where you get a lot of the big names of nostalgia racing. You get a lot of the wacky cars like this Gasser, you know, which I personally love.
It's a cool car. You got to take a look at it close.
Yeah. And you know, we see this car all the time, straight axle Vega, plus all kinds of different. You know, in the 60s and 70s, anything goes, and all those cars come out to the track, and you know, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Great racing, great personalities. Everything about this event, it screams nostalgia, screams fun. Now, there was a lot of Volkswagens this year. Watch this car get some air.
They were running in the 9s.
Yeah, they were running
kidding.
good.
Yeah.
And the staging lanes were packed. Of course, Cargill Racing was out there. He did really well. I think he's currently number 4 in points, I believe. And there's so many people that were out there racing that were having a great time. So many people had to stay over on Monday. A few couldn't make it. They even though they were winning, they had to go back to home or back to work or whatever.
But the stands were packed, weren't they?
Oh, they were full.
On Saturday and Sunday, I believe.
And we even had diehards sitting there on Friday until we canceled.
Is that right?
They had their umbrellas out. They were sitting in the stands. Bang Shift was broadcasting it live worldwide, so we got to see the annual March Meet and Car Wash going on. Ed Iskandarian. What a guy.
One of the legends of drag racing.
Yeah.
Here he is hanging out. Diana Might, here's some footage of you and Ed Iskandarian.
Isn't he he's just the sweetest thing. I just loved being with him.
And he's got a great mind. I mean, he remembers everybody. He's 90-something years old.
I thought he just remembered the girls.
Well, those better on those, yes. But the guy's going strong. He's at every event. We saw him at the Hot Rod anniversary this weekend. He's with the March Meet. He's at every car show he can get to or race.
Well,
He wears what my brother calls a go fast hat. It's got that sort of sloping front.
Yeah, it's old Stroker hat.
Yeah.
Stroker McGurk had that. Stroker McGurk.
Well, he's living the dream. I mean, he's out there. People are escorting him around. Girls are coming up and hugging him, wanting to take pictures with him. He's having a blast.
That's the whole reason why I do this whole drag racing thing, so someday I can be Ed Iskandarian.
You think so, Lucky?
Yeah, same reason I learned how to play guitar.
Yeah, we saw what happened there, didn't we?
Okay.
Let's bring on our callers.
Let's go to line 2 and welcome Rocky Perone. Rocky, welcome to Speed Scene Live.
Oh, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Rocky, it's great to have you on the show. This is Lucky, and I actually did an interview with you out at the Hot Rod reunion last year, and with Bones Balo.
Yes, Bones is a very good friend of ours. He's driving our Big John Mazmanian tribute car this year. He'll be at some events. He'll be back in Indy wheeling the car. Also be at the Hot Rod reunion out in Bowling Green, and Thompson, Ohio's Gasser magazine race, along with the Beaver Springs race. Bones is still out there at a very young age of 77 years old, and he's doing great.
I love it.
Well, Diana Might, why don't you bring our other caller on?
Well, let's go to line 1, and let's bring Al Lieberman. Al, welcome to Speed Scene Live.
Good evening. How are you?
We're great.
Well, you guys have got a great deal going with this Frantic Ford Funny car, and I know there's been some ups and downs with the car. Tell us a little bit about what's going on with your car.
Well, this version is a 1969 funny car that Jim Fox and Ron Rivera campaigned mainly on the East Coast, some on the West Coast also. It was the first car that I ever got a chance to work on as a kid. My dad used to do the transmissions for him back then. And, we wanted to come up with a class for what we call true nostalgia-style funny cars. We call it classical AA fuel coupes. Along the lines of my classical AA gas cars, where the cars from the outside looked exactly the way they did back in the day. The wheels, the tires, the injectors, no big spoilers, no aerodynamics done on them. Cars that really just exemplify what the funny cars were in their heyday. The Frantic Ford Mustang was really one of the fastest funny cars out here on the East Coast for quite a few years with Jimmy Fox tuning it. And we're going to bring it back. The specialty on these cars is going to be the long burnouts, the big header flames, and more towards to show the fans what the funny cars were like back in the late 60s, early 70s.
Well, what was the deal with the previous car that caught on fire? What was the connection there?
I think I can
on that one. A few years ago, I got involved with Bobby Fry and George Radnauer, and we came back with a 1977 version of the Frantic Ford Mustang II as a tribute to Dodger Glenn. We campaigned on alcohol, made a bunch of laps about a year and a half ago, and unfortunately on a Wednesday night in Englishtown, George drove it through the lights, and we had a little fire. So at that particular point, didn't know what we wanted to do, so I parted ways, and I would think probably back in December, Rocky got a hold of me and asked me if I'd like to get involved with the return of the Frantic Ford, the 1969.5 Mustang, and I said sure, and made some calls, found some of my sponsors that were involved before, and they're back on board.
So it's a completely different, different car, different even a year body style.
Everything is different. There's different team, different parts. We're ready to go out and run on nitro.
Nice. Now, Rocky, I've met you just briefly. You know, I got a chance to spend about 45 minutes with you, but I got to say, I got a lot of respect for you, because even though I don't know you personally, I've seen the cars that you have been instrumental in, and you know, your stuff is nice, man. You don't cut corners, you don't cheap out, you do quality stuff.
Well, thank you very much. And most of our cars that we're building right now are the tribute cars. We have the tribute car to K.S. Pittman, the tribute car to Big John Mazmanian, the tribute car to my dad, the Boss Hydro car. And to me, when you do a tribute car, you're representing these heroes from the heyday of drag racing. And to me, I try to make the cars better than what they were, back in the day. The Big John Mazmanian car was probably, to me, the most beautiful double-A gas car, ever built. So when we tackled that job, the standard was very high. And Big John set that standard. And when people come up to me and say, wow, that car is really gorgeous, I say, well, you can thank Big John Mazmanian for it, because he's the one who gave us the bar to shoot for. The Frantic Ford funny car, same thing. It was a nice car back then. It was a race car more than a show car. But what we're trying to, really bring back with the Frantic Ford is the show. As a kid, I remember being on the fence at Acco Dragway and watching the Frantic Ford go down the racetrack against Jungle Jim Lieberman and some of the superstars back then. I remember looking at the burnouts. They go right through the traps with the big flames over the roof. And in years past, years now, it doesn't seem like you have the same kind of show. And we're trying to bring back the show. We're not going to be as quick as the Heritage Series cars. We're not going to be aiming to run 550s with it. We'll be running mid-6s, but we're going to be pushing more for the entertainment value of what these cars brought to the fans back in the early 70s, late 60s.
Well, that's what I like. I like that spirit. And, when you did the Big John car, you not only recreated the car, but you got a hold of the driver and pulled him out of retirement and said, Bones, you were the driver. Will you drive my car? And I went, damn, this guy's really going, he's going over the edge to be recreating.
Well, like I said, we try to do it right. And the story with that really was, we were down in Gainesville. We've been running these, what we call classical double-A gas cars. And I had Freddie Bear, one of the original SNS team members. I called him my rookie pilot at 72 years young. And he was driving the KS car. And we were down in Gainesville, and Steve Gibbs and Eileen Daniels asked me if I could come up with about 10 cars, but they wanted to give me my own eliminator at the U.S. Nationals. And this would be the first time that A-Gas Supercharged was contested there in over 45 years.
Wow.
And my first thought was, Bones is a good friend of ours. I thought to myself, wow, how cool would it be to have Bones out there, too? So, Freddie Bear set it up. We talked to Bones. Bones was said yes. I had a 40 wheelies on the jig, and I was going to finish up before Indy, and then Bones called me and said, "Well, I talked to Vic Mazmanian, Big John's son, and he asked me if we could do the car in his honor in Big John's memory." And I just thought I was floored, because for Big John's car and the quality they were, to have Vic ask us to do it. Again, I was honored, and so we went that route. And again, and the neat part, this was last year's Indy race, and we're going to be back again this year too. But Bones had won that race in 1963.
Wow.
So it was 50 years later that he was again competing in that class at Indy, and that was really cool. Unfortunately, we had some gremlins, and it rained out that weekend, and Bones couldn't drive it during eliminations. But it was neat to see Bones, in the car at Indy 50 years after he won the biggest race in the country.
That is cool. Now, Al, what's your role in all this?
Well, I think I'm the guy that kind of reels in, try to find some of the people to provide us with some funds. I'm, I guess you call the marketing partner, if Rock would want to say. I try to find the money guys, and then I try to find the product guys.
Well, you're the most important guy on the team.
Yeah.
That's correct.
I also can work on a car. As you know, I've been around funny cars since the early 70s, so I spent a lot of time with a lot of people, and I'm really having a good time when I'm doing that with Rocky and the sponsors we have on board.
Well, I got to tell you, everybody knows Big Al, and I was on the Sam Oxer Jr. radio show, and I mentioned you were coming on, and you're like, oh, yeah, say hi to Big Al for us. Everybody that's been around drag racing knows who you are, and they all have good things to say about you.
Well, thank you. Well, I'd like to plug a few of our sponsors, if you don't mind. The guys who've, are giving us the rubber to make it down the road and have a good time this year.
Go for it. Let us hear them.
Hey, no problem. Yeah, some of our major partners is a company called NEC Business Communication Solutions. They're a telecommunications provider. Standard Communications, they're a service-disabled, veteran-owned business that sells the NEC product. One of our first partners was a gentleman named Mike Klein, Upstate Cellular Telephones. He's up in the Capital Region of upstate New York, and he is a diehard hot rod guy, and he couldn't wait to get the Frantic Fever. And what's kind of unique with Mike is he's on board with us. We're going to be doing something at the Syracuse Nationals second weekend in July. It's one of the largest hot rod shows on the East Coast. There's probably about 8,000 cars. And we're going to be doing a benefit for Artie's Parties. It's for Ronald McDonald House. It's an auction, charity auction for Panel Jam and artists and pinstripers. And probably before each auction, we're going to start the car and make some nitro noise and have a good time while we're up there.
Nice. Now, I don't know if you guys are aware or not, but tonight we're welcoming Alex, the car girl, on the show as one of our new hosts. And,
Thank you.
Have you guys ever thought about putting a young lady as a driver behind one of these cars? Because, I know she's got to weigh less than Rocky, okay?
Actually, we do have a female driver, Michelle File, has driven our Gasser. She started out with as a crew person, worked her way up, got her 40 Willys AA gas car, and we were looking at putting her maybe in a funny car down the line. But we're always looking for fresh talent. So if somebody wants to hand a resume in, I'm always interested.
Yeah, her street car runs 1090s.
Oh, it'll run faster than that soon, I'm telling you. Don't worry.
Well, I have a question for you, gentlemen. They're going to have a show up in, I believe it's New England this year for
That's right, New Hampshire.
Yeah, New Hampshire.
Yes.
And Lucky and I are both going to be up there with our race cars. Are any of you gentlemen by chance going to be at that race? That's a
Yes, we will be.
You are.
Yes, we will be. We'll have a full complement of our classical AA, the Big John Mazmanian car, and the Boss Hydro car. We'll also have the Frantic Ford Nitro Funny car up there. We're not really sure yet if it's just going to be on display or we're going to be racing Bruce Larson. We're still working on that. We're still ironing some contracts out with that, but we expect to be up there actually putting a show on for the New England Dragway fans. It's a great race facility. Joe Lombardo's a great guy. We've raced for him many a times. And we really look forward to going up there and really putting a show on for them.
Nice. Well, we're going to have to look you guys up, do some filming, do some footage. By the way, this footage is provided by Nova Joe that did a fantastic job. Great videographer, does a lot of stuff for Speed Scene Live, and I got to put a shout out for Nova Joe because really good stuff. Hey, you guys, we're running out of time. Thanks so much for calling, and give us a call. Let's set up another night, and let's talk about some of the other cars you guys are involved with.
Sounds great.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry.
I've got a gentleman by the name of Jack Red on the line, and he wants to ask Rocky a question. Let's go to line 3. Jack, you had a question for Rocky?
Yeah, Rocky, after Freddie Bear's hit down at Gainesville, do you think the guy should have that hands device now?
And that's a very good question. I mean, normally NHRA requires it for any car 200 mile an hour. These cars are running 8 mile, and they generally go about 130. But that's the way that hit occurred, where it was a sideways hit. Thank God Freddie wasn't injured, but I know he himself will be wearing a Hans. The Hans. Anytime you come to safety, I don't care if it's the nostalgic AA gas cars or Top Fuel, Antron Brown, and John Force. You can never take safety lightly, and to me, I recommend everybody to do everything they can to keep themselves safe. Race cars can be repaired. The human body's a lot harder to fix, and again, Freddie was very lucky to walk out of that with really nothing more than a couple aches and sores. But he will have a Hans device next time he gets in the car.
You know, Rocky, I drive a little 10-second car, and I actually wear a head and neck device by Hutchins. So, really, it doesn't matter how fast you go. The fact that you're going down that track quarter mile, you're doing well over 100 miles an hour. You could do a sharp left or right at any point in time. It's better to play it safe and wear some type of a restraint there.
Yes, I agree 100%. And I want to shout out to NHRA for having such great safety standards. The KS Pittman car, unfortunately, on Thursday night, it was out in front of the Plaza Hotel for Don Gart, which is International Hall of Fame induction of KS. And then, unfortunately, on Sunday, we had a little mishap. Freddie got out of the groove and hit the wall pretty hard. I'm actually on my way back from Pittsburgh. Scott's Rod down in Ohio actually is doing the body for me right now. We'll have the car back in shape by June 1st for our Thompson race. Good. But again, the roll cage, the seat belts, everything that NHRA mandated, saved Freddie's life. And I can't say enough about the safety.
Well, thanks a lot for calling in. It's been great to talk to you guys. And you know what? Keep in touch. Let us know what's going on with the team, and we'd love to hear from you. And we'll look you up when we're up at New Hampshire at that Hot Rod reunion. Sounds great. I look forward to meeting everybody.
Take care.
Hey, again, one last thing. We're looking forward to see you guys. Check us out on FranticFord.com, and we're also on Facebook, The Return of Frantic Ford, and check our schedule. We'll be running the whole East Coast the whole summer.
Sounds
nice. Great. Good job. Al, Rocky, thanks to both of you guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a good night.
Good night. Good night. Now, we're going to talk to Hot Rod Bob about the Pomona show, but before we do, Alex, you were recently out at the Winter Nationals. You're doing a little bit of interviewing.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about this next clip that's coming up.
We did a story for Mopar Max magazine about the crew and the crew chiefs for Jack Beckman's Valvoline Funny Car team. And, I don't think the crew gets enough credit sometimes for all the work because they're the ones that get the car down the track in the end. So here's a little clip of what went on.
I'm Alex Roggio from Mopar Max magazine, and today we're here at the Winter Nationals in Pomona doing a story for Mopar Max on Jack Beckman's crew and two crew chiefs, Todd Smith and Terry Snyder. Today, the crew is going to teach us how to tune a world champion Nitro Funny Car.
Hi, I'm Todd Smith. I'm the crew chief on the Valvoline Funny Car.
Terry Snyder, I'm the assistant crew chief on this car.
My name is Chris Watson. I'm from Brownfield, Maine. I do assistant clutch on the car, and I've been with DSR for 8 years.
My name is Dan Murphy. I'm from Monroe, New York. I've been on the car for 9 years now. I do the piston racks and put on a left side cylinder head, not back together.
I'm Mark Warnick. I do the short blocks and bottom end on the car. I'm from Vernon, California, and this is my 9th year at Schumacher Racing.
Hi, I'm Jim Arco. I'm from Eder, Ohio. I do clutch on the car, and I've been here 3 years.
Kyle Weekly from Lima, Ohio. I do cylinder heads, and I've been with DSR now for about 6 years.
I'm Brian Antrim from Rochester, Indiana. Body and tire. Been with DSR for about 4 months now.
I'm Aaron Hess from St. Henry, Ohio. I do ignition, superchargers, and fuel on the car. I've been with DSR since May of 2012.
Okay, so Jack Beckman is so funny. He cracks me up. This is a clip of him showing me something on the car, and the crew is really funny too.
Some of them are in the trailer reading National Dragster, catching up on their drag racing gossip. So funny.
Alex, tell us a little bit more about this day of you being in the pits with the crew chiefs.
Okay, so here the crew is putting the motor together before they make their first pass. Todd and Terry are making some initial clutch adjustments, and then Jack Beckman is about to get in the car and do his first warm-up. And then, of course, you get burned by the nitro fumes.
No,
man.
That clears the
right.
nostrils.
Clear your sinuses, right. Here, one of the crew members is making an adjustment on the wing. And then you'll see some more clutch adjustments. They do a lot of that to get the car down the track. It's super important. Of course, it's always cool being in the lanes with so many cool, drivers. They're all together in one clump. You don't know who to look at. Yeah. And then, we got Jack Beckman suiting up and Ron Capps to the left for the first round of qualifying for the 2013 season. was really cool. You'll see Ron Capps walk by me here.
Yeah, you know, Alex, one of the things that strikes me right away, and of course this is every time I see a funny car up close, is that it's more like an aircraft than a car.
Yeah.
We're all used to door cars, you know,
Yeah.
sportsman racers,
Yes.
very much so. And, man, these things are just extreme in every sense.
Of course. And it takes a lot of people working together to get the car down the track. This is the crew chiefs looking at their track data beforehand, and then, of course, you know, getting ready for the run. Here we are on the starting line, and you think it's cool from the stands. Man, you stand on the starting line, it's unbelievable. It's so fun.
Now, can you feel the vibration? Everything I've always been amazed about is how it feels like when the
Yes.
car's running, your whole body's
I
vibrating.
know, you're trembling.
You know, Alex, we go way back with Jack Beckman, back to when he was racing out at LACR, and you know, years ago we've had him in the studio before he got up to the NHRA level. And
Well, he actually came in once after he had been to that level.
Yeah, and you know, he's very down to earth, just a regular guy, and you know, he never
Absolutely.
forgets his roots, which I think is very important with any racer.
And you know, he told me on this day, it's, you know, the tradition has always been that the first round of qualifying goes in reverse order of championship with the odd numbers in the right lane. And one of Jack's life goals was to be the last pair in the right lane at the Winter Nationals. And he finally got to do that at this race. And it was so cool to see him, you know, in the number one spot. It was awesome.
He's definitely earned the seat.
Definitely.
Well, now, but like you said, the crew chiefs, hey, those are the guys that are making it happen, and they don't always get all the accolades that the driver does. They're not the ones, you know, standing up with the trophy. But really, who's more responsible than anyone else with the team, with the car like that?
I mean, and it's amazing because in this shot, you'll see Todd Okahara, there's Todd Smith, Terry Snyder, there's Ron Tobler. They're all working together to figure out this problem that the car had going down the track. You know, it's not just one team for themselves. Everybody works together. It's really, really cool to see all the crew chiefs of DSR working together and, you know, helping each car get down the track.
Yeah, they're definitely turning it as a business, and the object there is the teams. The
Yes.
whole DSR team as a whole
Exactly.
is what they're looking for. And I guess, to put it bluntly, they're trying to beat the JFR team. I mean, they're trying to keep John Forch's team of cars from beating them, and it's great to watch.
Well, I heard that in the first round, 25% of the eliminators were all John Force racers.
Yes.
Well, listen, this was taken at the Winter Nationals. Great job, Alex. And this was out at Pomona. But Hot Rod Bob was recently out at Pomona.
Yes, I was.
And he was doing something a little different, and there were no crew chiefs involved.
Not intentionally anyway, but they may have been there. Hi, I'm Hot Rod Bob, and you've got gas again here on Speed Scene Live. I was out of Pomona for the 65th anniversary car show commemorating Hot Rod Magazine's history. Now, Hot Rod Magazine tried to put together a great show with as many of the cover cars over the past 65 years as they could, and they succeeded in getting a lot of them there. It was great to see not only the cars that had been restored or that were still in original condition. Some of them looked pristine and like they just came off the cover. That was actually on the cover. And I was talking to Rod Hines, the fuel altered guy. He met Dale Poldy when he was 9 years old. They were on the cover of Hot Rod Magazine in quarter midgets.
Holy cow, at age 9.
At age 9. Now, this particular truck, though it looks weather-worn, it's because it's been driven, and it was a cover car. It was a car about a truck about how to put a cheap car together. And at the time, those were inexpensive to build. Now, you got to go remember, Hot Rod Magazine, around for 65 years. There it is in the pages of Hot Rod Magazine.
That is amazing. I always had a fondness for that front end of that particular Ford, too.
40 Fords, 39 Fords are great. And yeah, we had to get the midgets back in there again. These are so cool. I remember watching them. Rod and I were talking, and I used to go to the track to watch these guys, and Rod was probably one of the guys I was watching.
What kind of motors do those midgets run?
In the quarter midgets, they ran basically a lawnmower-style motor.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Now, I think nowadays it's considered politically correct to call them little cars?
Little cars.
Yeah,
little cars. Yeah, little car. Yeah. For little people. Okay. Here's another car that was on the cover, but when it was on the cover, it was blue. They've changed it to red. Now, one of the things you got to see.
They didn't get it right the first
They
time.
didn't
They got
get
it right this
They
time.
liked it better red.
Never give up.
Never give up. And that's one of the things you did see is some of the cars that were cover cars at one point, they get changed over the years. Some of them were true to their heritage, as this car was.
That's quite the custom job there.
Oh, and that was the days when, today we'd call that a rat rod with paint on it, but that was the reality of customs. I'm looking at quad headlights.
Yeah.
Now, here's a car that was made to run Bonneville, and there was a whole feature story on it. Now, it is in the process of being restored, and you can see if you look closely, there's a section of the side cowling that's cut out because at one point, someone updated the roll cage to go racing currently. So now they're bringing it back to the way it was. This was the cover car for the Christmas issue of Hot Rod Magazine, and at that time it was a bright cherry red. Now it is undergoing its restoration, and they've done it in candy red. They're
It's a
keeping it
very
red, but
pretty
they're
color.
updating it.
Yeah.
This car pretty much exactly the way it looked in the cover of Hot Rod Magazine. And with every car that was there, here's the story on it, with every magazine and every car cover that was there, or car that was there was a cover issue, and it showed the vehicle on the cover. And the story inside. Some of the cars in the show were not cover cars, they were feature cars. Now, this car I had to take a picture of Ike and his 6-cylinder powered dragster, and that's in the days when full body work was the thing. I mean, you looked at these cars and they had a lot of reminiscent body work to Indy cars of the time.
Now, you're saying dragster. I thought this might be one of the streamliners or something, out on the salt flats.
Yeah, actually, no, this was a dragster, and it was a 302 cubic inch GMC6, if I remember correctly.
What do you know?
Now, this is a recreation of the hot rod car that ran the Pan American race down in Mexico. This particular one, I believe, was built by Vern Tardell up in Santa Rosa, and it was to commemorate an anniversary for Hot Rod Magazine. They recreated the original T-Bucket that ran the race. Wow. This car is gorgeous. Now, my photography does not do it justice. Right now, it is a brilliant copper color, and the cover, it was red, but you can see the cover art in front of the car. There it is there, and red, and it was beautiful. Other than the paint, the car is just like it looked when it first hit the pages of Hot Rod Magazine.
And, of course, check out the title right above the Hot Rod masthead there.
What's new about the Edsel? Yeah, you'd notice that, wouldn't you?
Of course I would.
Something you don't hear anymore nowadays.
No, the new Edsel. Yeah, I remember them. No. Yeah, here's a car. Now, this was a rear engine. And now you talk about rear engine cars, you think of Big Daddy Don Garlits and Top Fuel dragsters. Well, guys that came before them.
That's the weirdest sunroof I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's almost like a mid-engine almost.
Well, it actually is a mid-engine by today's standards because the engine's sitting where the driver would, the driver's sitting where the engine would.
That's interesting.
It's a dyslexia car.
That's it. And there's the picture of the car. It is as rear engine as it could get. But because of the shortness of the body, it's not. A lot of the cars were there. They were not restored. They were as they are now. Here's one where they've straightened out the sheet metal. This was a Lakes car. And it also made the cover. You saw this very famous, the Pearson Brothers Chop Top 34 Ford.
Now, these grills they're using, the last one had something similar. Is this another car, or is that just a custom job?
They're all custom.
Yeah.
There was not when these cars were built, there were no bubble wrap parts. You couldn't go down to the store and buy a part. You had to make it. These guys formed it. Here's the cover of Hot Rod Magazine when it was on.
Sure.
Here's a belly tank. Now, a belly tank was a fuel tank that hung in the belly of an airplane. After the war, they didn't need them anymore.
So
they
that's
made
why
it
it
into
looks
race cars.
So you just cut it into...
Cut it open for the opening for the driver, the wheels, and you go for it.
Yeah.
This was a purpose-built machine for Bonneville and the Salt Flats, and it is beautiful bodywork. This car has been restored tremendously. The Eddie Miller Jr. car shows the construction and so forth. This car unrestored, but it's beautiful. The bodywork and the craftsmanship. Another unrestored car, as it appeared, and they did cutaway drawings of this car for the magazine.
Look at that. Now, for Town and Traps, the little headline on that story.
Yeah, because
says.
it ran around the streets, and then it ran at Del Mirage and Bonneville.
Oh, and it says here, if you can read the really fine print, Burbank, it's where that car was.
Yeah, and I think he was a member of the Choppers Car Club.
Well, what do you know?
Tom Medley lives in Burbank, and he was the artist that created Stroker McGurk, and that's the driver. You talk about that hat that Ed Iskandarian was wearing.
Sure.
And Stroker McGurk made it famous.
What do you know?
This car, an amazing car, Burbank car. It was very well known. It was beautiful for the time. Donald Roscoe owns that car now, and it is better now than it was. He bought this car a number of years ago and tried to get it done in time for the Pebble Beach show when they opened it up to traditional, actual documented hot rods. It was so bad by today's standards, he didn't make it.
Wow.
But he went back the following year and won. This little car is great. Look at it on the cover of Hot Rod Magazine, and look at the shrunk one alongside. That's what happens when you wash them in hot water; they shrink.
I knew something was going to happen.
Yeah,
always use cold.
Yeah, now look at that hot. See there? Isn't that nice?
Yeah, the name is Little Thumper Jr.
Little Thumper, right alongside Big Thumper. And the Big Thumper, that look, you think that's got a Hemi? Well, it does, but it's an Arden. That's Zora Argus Duntov. Before he got involved with the Corvettes, he made the Hemi heads for flathead Fords.
Okay, so I was going to say, I didn't think it was the whole engine. It's just the heads.
Just the heads. Okay. Put on a flathead Ford. Made an overhead valve and a Hemi out of it.
Yeah.
Here's a car that's under restoration, but it was also a cutaway vehicle that showed up in the magazines.
Huh.
Wow. And here's you look at this car, it's got paint on it now, and it's hard to see in the black and white, but there it is without the paint.
Wow.
All hand-formed aluminum, and this is not something where you've got all the machines and tools of today. This is something that someone did by hand to run at the lakes.
That is crazy, man.
I talked about Rod Hines earlier. This was his dad's car, the cover car in the 1950 issue of Hot Rod Magazine. It's been in the family all along this, and Rod's brother restored it last year, gave it to Rod. Rod's got it. He keeps it up in his house, and he's enjoying that car. Little V860. The Bean Bandits out of San Diego. Their famous dragster. And you saw that red car. Now, this is a great shot. Now, Don Perdome was there, too.
Okay.
Don Perdome has restored both of the Mattel transporters. This one is the Tom McEwen car. Now, why is the Tom McEwen car there and not the Perdome? Perdome didn't make the cover. McEwen did.
Now, this truck here is a truck that Donnie Couch actually spent every summer in when he was in high school.
Yeah.
Traveling
In that truck?
In that actual truck.
Yeah, learning to be a crew chief with McEwen, traveling around the country.
What a blast. What an awesome thing to do on your summer break.
Now, it wasn't only hot rods. The Demi Van. This was built by Hot Rod Magazine as a promotional vehicle for Coca-Cola, and I think it was a giveaway vehicle.
Well, look at that. Yeah, the denim machine.
Yeah, they found it a few years ago and restored it back to its original brilliance.
Wow.
Only now it's acid wash.
Acid wash, yeah. All right, here you have two of the Stroker McGurk cars. Actually, it's Tom Medley's cars, his 40, that burnt down 2 years ago in his garage here in Burbank, and then the Roadster. He's got the coupe back together again. The Roadster was parked alongside. Here's a famous poster almost every kid had.
I have seen that.
You've seen that?
Yeah.
Well, the driver's a little worse for the wear now, but the car still looks the same. He's got a top on it now so he doesn't get sunburnt, and it was right alongside this poster.
Was the Lamborghini there?
No, she wasn't there either. Darn. It was on the cover of Hot Rod Magazine there.
So every one of these cars in the Hot Rod Show, where, what is it, 55 years of...
65 years.
65 years of Hot Rod Magazine.
Yeah.
These are all cover cars that
Cover
they
cars
brought
or
back.
feature cars that were there. Yep. Here's the cover car of a Lakester. Here's
Holy
another
cow.
belly tank. The guy sat so low, and so they tried to keep it as aerodynamic as they could, so they just made a canopy in the front so you could look out the front.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Lying down or something, I guess.
Pretty close.
Wow, amazing.
Corvette was on the cover of Hot Rod Magazine. So this was great. There were over 300 cars inside the buildings, 350 outside.
Wow.
Good show.
How many people do you think came?
You know, it must have been at least 10, 15,000 people coming through the doors, watching and looking at these cars.
Great.
It was great. Place was full.
Speaking of good shows, another venue that does great shows is the NMCA West. Came on the scene last year for the first time. Dynamite, you've raced the NMCA West.
I have, and I had a blast, Lucky.
You had a great time. I was one of the competitors in the Nostalgia Street Car. Now, Alex, you have not yet raced NMCA West, but you're hoping to sometime this year.
Yes, I intend to go to the September race in Vegas. I'm really excited about that.
Nice, nice. Well, tonight we've got a lot to talk about because we've got somebody on the phone that can give us some info, right, Dynamite?
Actually, first I want to thank Bob for that great segment that he gave. Thank you so much, Bob.
You're welcome.
And I want to go to line one, and I want to welcome Charlie Harmon. Charlie, welcome to Speed Scene Live.
How are you guys? Thanks so much for having me.
It's a pleasure. We love the NMCA West. You guys are a great association.
Yes, we love having you too.
That.
Now, Charlie, we got an event coming up at Bakersfield. This is the NMCA West, the first weekend in April. Not this weekend, but the following weekend. And we're going to be up there racing. You're going to be up there. Tell us a little bit about this upcoming event.
Oh, well, we're always excited to go to Bakersfield. You guys know about the track surface. I mean, it's phenomenal. So you have a great racetrack. You have a great venue with great management, the Bowser family, and we're proud to open our season there, and they've given us an opportunity to get up there, and I'm really excited about it. You know, we're going to open up at noon on Friday, have a test and tune on Friday, on about 5, secure the track at 6. We'll have 3 qualifiers on Saturday and eliminations on Sunday. And if it's anything like the last opener, you know, we've got the Summit ET Series involved in the program. And, you know, if last week is going to be anything like what we're going to have, you know, WCHRA, my good friend Tim, he really knocked him out up there. So we're excited. We're excited.
Now, we're showing some footage right now. We have some of the pro mods, some of the fast cars that are involved with your series. But there's something for everybody. If you've got a bracket car, if you've got an electronics car, non-electronics. Now, what about racers that want to just race Saturday and Sunday and not come up on Friday? Is that okay?
That's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. We have some test and tune opportunities on Saturday morning. You know, we'll have 3 qualifiers, and some of the classes, it's not necessary to make qualifiers. So, yeah, we have a lot of racers that come in on Saturday. It's, you know, it's difficult to travel on work days, so we want to accommodate those folks.
Well, I had some people, when I let people know, you know, I promoted that you were going to be on the show, I had a lot of people that said, you know, I can't get off work on Friday. Can I come up on Saturday? So I had to ask. Another question people were asking about, Charlie, you got a big event in Pomona, May 16th and 19th, and racers are already talking about it. You know, you had this event last year, but you've moved it up in the year, and the weather's really going to be nice in May. So when can racers start pre-entry for this race?
Well, we hope immediately following Bakersfield you'll be able to pre-enter through the Extreme Ticks website, which you'll go to our website, and you can get a link right over there. It's no different than what we did last year. And, this is the only event that we do pre-registration, and only because we have to monitor the number of cars.
Well, you sold out last year.
Yeah, we did. We sold out last year. And, you know, I'm not sure what to anticipate this year. We've got the new Pro Comp class that's sponsored by K&N that's got the electronics cars in there running on 790, 890, 990, and 1090. So that's a pretty healthy segment of racers in Southern California that we really didn't have. You know, we didn't have the forum for them or the venue to participate. So I think that once again we'll be at capacity. We learned a lot last year. Pomona's a little bit of a different animal because they only run the 2 national events, and the entire safety safari team comes in with NHRA, and they handle everything. So you don't have your traditional, you know, Bowser family or, you know, the staff at Las Vegas. You don't have a racetrack crew. So it was definitely a challenge, but everybody worked together, and the racers supported us, and we learned a lot about the venue. So we hope we've learned some things to make it much more efficient.
Well,
we know we've got a better time of year. So
yeah, absolutely.
You
know, Charlie, maybe we could get you to come in studio before that event in Pomona, and you can talk a little bit about it. And you know, you were gracious last year. You know, you had, I believe, gave away a couple spectator tickets and so forth. We'd love to have you in studio again. What do you think?
How am I going to turn you down?
And you're gonna make sure you save me a couple spots for Pomona, right?
Absolutely.
I knew you would.
Absolutely. And we'll get on there and we'll do some giveaways and that kind of thing.
Now, Charlie,
we really love and appreciate what you guys are doing. It's so good for not just Southern California, but you know, the entire nation. So,
well, you know, Charlie, we're hoping to someday start racing your NMCA and NMRA events back on the East Coast, and then we can do your nationwide series.
And tell us where you're at right now.
Well, unfortunately, I'm not where you're at. I'm in Norwalk, Ohio, and it's 28 degrees and snow.
Heat wave.
Yeah.
Well, that's
yeah,
okay.
But, no, we were doing a pre-planning meeting with the Bader family, and we have an NMRA and an NMCA East Coast event back here, and we're so excited about those two events. It's the 25th anniversary of Muscle Mustang magazine, and it's going to be a walk event. And anybody that knows anything about Ford drag racing knows that probably the biggest all Ford drag racing event in the country was held at Norwalk several years ago, when Fun Ford was in its heyday.
Well, Charlie, everybody knows, and I'm a West Coast guy, I'm going to say it hands down, Norwalk is the best facility in the world. And I'm telling you, there's no track as good as Norwalk. There's no facility as good as Norwalk. The Bader family take care of that track like it's their loving baby, and every aspect of that facility is top notch. And I've never been to a track, I've raced there several times, I've never been to another track that is as well ran, as clean, and as organized as the Norwalk
Is that where
track.
they come up, the gentleman that owns the track, and he'll say hello to everybody,
That's right.
welcome them in
That's
the
right.
gate? And I mean, how down to earth is that? I mean, you just don't get that type of service anywhere.
No, it's a phenomenal management group, and we're thrilled to have the privilege to work with them. And we strategically plan today, how we're going to, what we're going to do from a marketing aspect.
And the ice cream! I hear about the ice cream there.
You get a pound of ice cream for $1. You
Oh my
can't
gosh!
beat it. And you wouldn't have wanted it today. There's like 5 inches of snow.
Trust me, I'd still eat it.
Now, Charlie, last year you did a program for the NMCA West where all the racers that came up to the Bakersfield event, there was sort of a window, but you said, hey, if you race there, as long as you pre-register by this date, we'll guarantee that you get to race at Pomona. Will you be doing something like that again this year?
You kind of put me on the spot. I guess I'll have to now.
We'll call that the Lucky Hudson rule,
That's the Lucky rule.
Remember that spot you had, Lucky?
Yeah, he just gave it away.
Yeah, I still have my spot,
Well-
right, Charlie?
I support all the NMCA events. It's a great series. People have been asking for a series like NMCA West for years. It's finally here. So if there's any racers out there that have not participated, plus I got to mention the awards ceremony, Charlie. You guys just went over and above. I was fortunate enough and lucky enough to just barely clinch my way into the top 10, and you guys hooked me up with a great champion's jacket. You treated every single one of those racers like they were superstars in a way that, frankly, we're just not used to be treated that well.
Well, I appreciate that, and I can tell you, I'm also excited to for the award ceremony next year. We're going to make it bigger and better, but I'll tell you, Lucky, I'm excited to have Curry on board, and I'm also excited to have you repping for Hedman out there. I mean, two great supporters, and you're going to be out there. You're going to be one of us. You're tied in now. You can't get out of it.
Well, you mean Lucky's a good old boy now? Does that get him into the good old boy club?
He's right there.
Well, we're very proud and happy to have Curry Racing Rear Ends. Curry Rear Ends involved as a sponsor, and it's a great move for them, and you'll be able to come out and see us in the Manufacturers Midway. Stop by. You'll see us out there with the Curry booth. You'll see the Hedman Hustler headers. Come on by. I'll give you some free stickers, catalogs, that type of thing.
Yep.
Well, we better wrap it up here, Charlie. I'll take you on the sidelines and we'll chit-chat, but we're almost at the top of the hour, and we need to tell everybody what's going on.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you guys so much, and you're doing a great job out there, and it's so important to the industry. So It's a real privilege to be here, and thank you very much.
Thanks so much for calling in, hon.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we do have enough time to do what's going on, and of course,
That's brought to you by Curry Racing Rear Ends, right, Lucky?
that's right, and dragraceresults.com. And what's going on will be the NMCA West at Bakersfield the first weekend in April. Come on by and see us.
How about Spring Fling at Las Vegas, April 11th through the 14th?
In the ANRA season opener, April 19th through the 21st at Famoso.
The 27th through the 28th. NHRA Sunflower National Open at Great Bend, Kansas.
Hey, Schooled by Scotty class will be at Caprock Motorplex in Penwell, Texas, May 10th through 11th and through the 12th.
And NMCA West at Pomona, May 16th through the 19th. Be there or be square.
And Bob, you have something that you wanted to tell people what's going on.
I sure do. From grassroots to pro caliber, drag racing's American success story will be featured at a panel discussion on the sport headlined by Bruce Larson and Buddy Martin, former world drag racing champions. Also, their experience covers a range from grassroots to stockers and fuel funny cars. They'll be joined by historian John Lundberg and veteran Berserker Bob during the Charlotte Motor Speedway's huge auto fair Saturday, April 6th. The event will take place at Charlotte Motor Speedway Media Center. Don't miss it.
And Alex, where will you be racing that good-looking Dodge Magnum of yours next?
I will be at the Spring Fling bracket race in April, the beginning of April.
Back to Las Vegas.
Yeah, that should be it's a 4-day race. It's going to be awesome. Big money, lots of bracket racers. It'll be fun.
Everybody, don't forget the Bug Fest. That's going to be down at the Orange County Fairgrounds. That's this Saturday in Costa Mesa, California. The Bug Fest for all of you VW fanatics. I'll be there with my little notchback.
Bring your spray.
Nice. Now, here's some shots of you out at Mopar's at the Strip.
This is Mopar's at the Strip. We
Now
gave an award to a team, an outlaw super cop racing team, and it was a Mopar Max Best of Show award, and it was a really, really sweet car. 68 Barracuda, that's the one.
That's the one that Officer Tom Gibby's involved with, I bet.
Yeah.
Great guy. You know, he's got an Anglia, and we've raced many times.
We love him. He's a great guy.
Now, Alex, we're very would like to welcome you to the show again. You did a great job tonight,
Thank you.
You'll be back on here again.
Yes, I will see you guys very, very soon.
Nice.
You going to wrap it up for us, Bruce?
Gonna have to. Hey, we got so much more show to go in case you missed any of tonight's, because the encore presentation is next. Hey, Bob, thanks once again for the memories. Hot Rod Magazine. Alex, we'll see you next time. Lucky Hudson, good to see you again. And Diana Might, great to have you back in the studio this week.
Great to be had.
All right, now that we've reintroduced everybody for the last time, I promise that's the last time until you see the show again in about 2 minutes. All right, the encore presentation comes up next. Thanks for joining us here at Speed Scene Live. We do appreciate you logging in and checking out the show every week. We're back next week with another live one, another extravaganza right here at Speed Scene Live.
Speed Scene Live TV, the #1 online motorsports TV show. Brought to you by Curry Racing Rear Ends, M&H Tires, and TheFoat.com.